The chair of the Board of Commissioners in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. She's also a physician. She's worked on healthcare reform. She's worked on fighting the opioid epidemic. She now finds herself in the center of responding to a new public health crisis with a significant coronavirus outbreak in Pennsylvania, in her county. And with long-term care facilities being particularly hard hit, Dr. Arkoosh has been making daily check-ins with those facilities and daily discussions of what's going on in those facilities, part of her county's response and part of how she's keeping her county informed about what's going on in their community. Dr. Valerie Arkoosh, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you making time.
Thanks, Rachel. I really appreciate you shining a light on this incredibly important issue.
So oh, do we not have sound? Tell me in the control room whether you can hear Dr. Arkoosh, because I can't hear her. You can hear her. Dr. Arkoosh, can you still hear me?
I can.
All right. Okay, I'm going to give it a last college try. All right, we're going to take a quick break. I promise I will fix this and we'll be right back. See what this. I have said the magic spell to banish the technical gremlins that made that break necessary, and so therefore, I'm confident in introducing to you Dr. Valerie Arkoosh, who's the chair of the Board of Commissioners in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Dr. Arkoosh, thank you so much for being here, and I'm sorry about that glitch.
No, it's an interesting time that we're working through here, so I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you.
Generous of you to put it that way. One of the reasons I wanted to talk to you is because I have watched your press conferences in Montgomery County, and I have noticed that one of the first things you do after giving a general overview of what's going on in the county is that you've been giving this super detailed, granular snapshot of how the virus is spreading through long-term care facilities and nursing homes in your county. And I have latched onto that, and I have latched onto the way that you've communicated to the public about that, because I think that is the part of this response where the most American lives are at stake, where the most American lives can potentially be saved if we get it right, and the most will be lost if we screw it up. Wanted to ask you why you decided to make that part of your daily briefing and why that's been so much of your own focus.
Well, Rachel, as you mentioned, I'm a physician and I also have a degree in public health, and in the years that I practiced medicine, I have to tell you this is one of the most heartbreaking things that I've seen. And I've learned since the beginning of this pandemic, that the more information that you give people while still protecting people's privacy, the easier it is for them to understand why we're asking them to do a lot of really difficult things, like close their businesses and keep their kids out of school and stay home. When it comes to our long-term care facilities, they have some of our most vulnerable members of our community, our parents and our grandparents. They are taken care of by incredibly hardworking people. And in the case of our county, we see that 61% of the lives that are lost to the coronavirus are happening in long-term care facilities. And we just want to make sure people understand how serious an issue this is.
And you mentioned there right at the top that giving people information while still protecting privacy is a way to get people to do the right thing even when what they're being asked to do is hard. Is there any reason why every county in the country that's dealing with this, every state in the country that's dealing with this, couldn't do that kind of public disclosure that you've been doing in Montgomery County? We have heard from a lot of local officials and from a lot of governors a real resistance to releasing information about how bad the problem is in nursing homes and long-term care facilities. They don't, in a lot of cases, Democratic states and Republican states, they don't want that information out there, and we've had a number of different excuses. What do you say to those officials about why you've been able to release that information when others haven't?
I think it's important to just give people the truth and the facts while still protecting personal information and privacy. But this is a very real issue that we're experiencing in our county. And I think that one of the ways that we can help draw more attention to issues around how long it takes to get tests back, how difficult it still is to get personal protective equipment for these workers, is to help people understand the impact in their neighborhoods and in their communities by the lack of these really critical items. And so hopefully by just shining the light on the fact that just like everyone else, nursing homes take 3 to 6 days to get their test results back. So when they're trying to protect patients, isolate patients, they're waiting as long as everybody else is waiting to get those test results back. And in those intervening days, a lot of other people can be exposed if those workers don't have enough personal protective equipment. And so that's just one example of how really vulnerable people can be impacted by this.
Dr. Valerie Arkoosh, Chair of the Board of Commissioners in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, who's been, I think, modeling good civic behavior by being really upfront about the fact that 60% of the deaths in your county have been people in long-term care facilities already. Thanks for helping us understand what's going on where you are, and thanks for making time for us tonight.
Thank you. Take care.